Now, ever since Jamal put an end to Guadeloupe, life has been pretty freaking good. Jamal Jackson has been consistently getting a good night's rest, and his mental health has really improved. However, I just discovered something that completely jeopardizes this juicy froggo's existence. It has to do with Jamal's cock, and not that type of cock, you freaking weirdo, the type you guzzle. You see, Jamal Jackson loves cockroaches. Matter of fact, I would go as far as saying Jamal lives for the cocks. I mean, just take a look at the delight in his eyes as he guzzles that glizzy. Clearly, Jamal feels most alive while slurping down a big juicy cock. So it's no surprise that Jamal has a soft spot in his heart for BBC. But just yesterday, I was fetching Jamal his scrumdiddly-dumptious lunch when I discovered something horrendous. Jamal Jackson's BBC reserves had been tampered with. There was a huge gaping hole that was allowing my precious roaches to escape. So I opened up the enclosure in order to see how many roaches got loose in my room. But upon opening up the lid, things only seemed to get worse, as the breach in security had allowed this colony to become infested with forward flies. Clearly, sabotage was at play. But before I could find out who did this, I needed to act fast, as the extinction of this roach colony will eventually lead to the eradication of Jamal Jackson himself.
Fuck.
Wasting no time at all, I began evacuating my entire hissing roach colony into this sterile bin. It was honestly shocking to see this many maggots in my beloved cock enclosure. And while I might have been fortunate enough to discover this problem early on, nothing could have prepared me for this. Ladarius III had fallen. My most successful breeder male, Ladarius III, will never impregnate another female ever again. And that pisses me off. So I rushed over to Jamal Jackson in order to see if he has any leads on who did this reckoning. I had vengeance on my mind, and I was dumbfounded to find out Detective Johnson actually cracked the case. He ran me down on all of his findings before revealing who the sicko was. It was Guadeloupe's adoptive parents. In an attempt of getting revenge for their son's tournament-style execution, Tabitha and her husband Ethan tried starving Jamal by collapsing his primary food source. Jamal has now officially been a victim of a hate crime.
Whatever.
And I'll be damned to let that slide. Only 5 minutes later, and my best bounty hunters were on a mission to find the demonic duo, while I finished up sanitizing, stripping, and redoing the roach's enclosure. Before long, I was finally done, and not a single maggot was left behind. It was finally time to reintroduce my beloved glizzies. It honestly felt surreal being this up close and personal with BBC of this magnitude. Hey yo, what the freak is that? What are you doing here, bro? You're in the wrong colony. Jesus Christ, I'll be dealing with you later. But like I was saying, my colony is doing better than ever. And while there were some casualties from this forward fly infestation, my big black cock empire is bigger than it's ever been before. After scooping up the last few roaches, I basked in the glory of my work. The cocks were safe, and that meant Jamal was safe. It was an overall W, but I would be a fool to forget that we are at war.
I wanna kill my
Ops.
I've honestly been dreading having to make this video, but approximately 3 days ago, my beloved Jamal Jackson went missing. I had just returned from a night out on the town when this eerie feeling ran up my spine. I could sense something was horribly wrong, and seeing as Jamal's ops were still out causing chaos, I searched around expecting to find Tabitha and Ethan, but nothing could have prepared me for what had actually happened. The lid to Jamal's enclosure had been tampered with, and upon opening up the lid, Jamal was gone. Clearly, the ops spun back and kidnapped my precious Froggo in retaliation for what Jamal did to their son Guadeloupe. It all happened so fast. One moment he was here, and the next he was gone. Searching endlessly, I scanned every nook and cranny within a 5-mile radius in order to find my cherished Froggo. However, all of my efforts were unsuccessful, and it pains me to say this, but it's time you guys all know the truth. Jamal Jackson is gone forever.
Hey yo, what the
Dude! Where were you?
Don't worry about that.
Oh no, did the ops hurt you?
You fool. They've been captured.
Jamal Jackson had finally returned, and after telling me all about his 3-day-long expedition, he said there was a surprise for me inside of his brand new backpack. Trying my best not to laugh at Jamal's rainbow-themed drip, I began unzipping his backpack, and in an extraordinary turn of events, Jamal's ops were inside of the bag. I honestly couldn't make sense of the situation, but somehow, someway, this legendary frog was able to hunt down and capture Tabitha and Ethan. It was a massive W for Jamal, but he didn't travel all this way just to stick Guadeloupe's evil parents in jail. Oh no. You see, Jamal Jackson's vengeance arc is barely getting started. With that being said, I readied up the battle arena. I then bathed thy stinky Froggo, since he was mad dirty from his vengeance-seeking voyage. The sacred water rinsed over Jamal's body, washing away all of his previous sins. Eventually, Jamal Jackson returned back to his his purest form, and it was time for my Pixie frog to practice for his big day. With the help of his fully stocked refrigerator, I dropped in dubia roach after dubia roach, and like a true MVP, Jamal gobbled up every single cock with ease. He was in his truest form, and after the glizzy guzzling goat finished up his last roach, he was ready to put an end to the demonic duo. Now, as you've probably noticed, the arena is different this time around. You see, a lot of you dark side supporters deemed Guadeloupe's execution as unfair. So in order to even out the playing field, there is now a net in the far left corner of the enclosure that the roaches can use in order to escape their demise. As a result, the fate of Tabitha and Ethan is now in the hands of the old gods and the new. If Tabitha and Ethan can make it to the net and escape this arena, the Westside Reptiles Court of Law will respect the gods' decision and will not charge these roaches with crimes against humanity. However, if the roaches fail to escape and Jamal gets his mouth around these dirty little cocks, then the gods have spoken and justice is served. Anyways, I scuffle through Jamal's book bag and I unearth Ethan the Evil. But before I drop Ethan in, I allow him to regain his senses, as what's right is right. Holy crap! Jamal went straight in for the cheap shot, even though there's clearly a wall of plastic.
Bruh.
I don't know what that sicko did to Jamal Jackson on that expedition, but whatever it is has Jamal furious. Anyways, Judgment Day is finally here, and it would be cruel to make Jamal wait any longer. So I drop Ethan in, and holy smoke, Sir Jackson nearly takes a chunk out of the evil one. He continues chasing after the roach, but the net appears to be working towards Ethan's advantage. In fact, the roach is in the perfect position to escape Jamal's fury. However, Ethan is overran with ego. As a result, this evil cock puts trash-talking Jamal over safety and success.
La la la, try to get me now, fatso.
I guess the gods have spoken. And while Jamal might not like their decision, I am a man of my word. With that being said, Ethan the Evil has been proven not guilty. Never mind. Jamal Jackson silenced Ethan by literally biting his face off. Nice shot. Revenge has never tasted sweeter, as every single munch and crunch squeezed justice-laced liquids out of Ethan's exoskeleton. And before long, the vile beast was completely devoured. However, we must not celebrate just yet, as the true mastermind behind the attack on Jamal's BBC reserves is still without entering the arena. So I rush over to the backpack in order to extract Tabitha the Treacherous. I drop her into the arena, but Jamal was way too focused on his froggy reflection.
Bruh.
Eventually, he snaps out of it and begins to slowly stalk his prey. Tabitha is captured, and it's only a matter of time before she is devoured.
Stupid.
Jamal ended up squeezing Tabitha out of his own mouth. She attempts to swim away from the beast, but no worries, surely he'll get it this time. Oh my gosh, dude! You're supposed to be thirsty for cock, not thirsty for water!
Bruh.
What the fuck? Finally, Jamal has chomped on Tabitha the Treacherous, and with his goofy looking chompers, he squeezed the living fecal matter out of Guadeloupe's mother. Jamal was in a glizzy gulping daze, and the only thing that mattered was getting that dirty little cock down his throat. One guzzle later, and the demonic duo was gone forever. Guadeloupe's entire family heritage has been abolished, and the only thing that remains of Guadeloupe's family name is this dookie strand that Jamal flicked off Tabitha before he swallowed her whole. Anyways, Jamal Jackson successfully wiped out an entire family lineage of ops. With that in mind, I allowed my prized disciple to fully absorb his monumental achievement. He sat and savored his hard-earned victory, and after some time had passed, he realized only one thing can make this moment better. So he hunkered down and pinched one off. Such a legend.